Let's talk about Sharia law. You have a big problem with the creeping increase in people who want Sharia law in this country?
No, I have a problem with councils or courts where the word of a woman is only worth half that of a man. OK, suffragettes would turn in their grave.
Do you have the same problem? So this is a particular, obviously, Sharia court is Muslims, right? You accept that?
Yeah.
OK. What about the Jewish courts, which have been in this country for centuries?
They've been here since the days of Oliver Cromwell.
Right. What's the difference?
There's a massive difference.
Go on.
And it's about population. OK? The Orthodox Jewish community is falling year on year. In fact, it's halved since the 1950s. About 200,000 now. OK? The Muslim community is doubling every single decade. 3 million, 6 million,
what about the principle?
12 million. Hang on, let me finish on this. The problem that we've got is that a quarter of Muslims now in this country, and this goes back to Trevor Phillips's report, want Sharia to replace British law in communities that...
But you cited as one of the reasons, Paul, for why you object to Sharia law is the way that women's rights are subjugated, right?
Yes, they are.
And yet you know, I'm sure, that in the Jewish court system in this country, women's rights are subjugated. A woman, for example, cannot get a divorce if the man doesn't agree to it. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
So here we have another religion where... hang on, let me finish my question. Here we have another religion in this country, right, where women are subjugated in... They can't get a divorce if the man says they don't want one, right? And they're operating their own court system. So if I'm a Muslim, I'm looking at Paul Nuttall going, well, hang on a second. This is total hypocrisy.
No, look, right? Even the Prime Minister thinks there's a problem with this. That's why she instigated an investigation.
Well, what do you say to Muslims watching who think you're hypocritical?
She didn't instigate an investigation into Bet-Din, OK? And as I say, we've had Bet-Din, which goes back all the way to the days of Oliver Cromwell. The problem that we have is that there's a quarter...
They've been stoning women in Saudi Arabia since Oliver Cromwell, right?
Hang on.
So it's not a defence to say it's been going on a long time, therefore we can't apply the same laws to them.
It is a tiny proportion of the country, OK? We have a quarter of Muslims now who want to see Sharia replace British law in areas that are
just to clarify,
Muslim.
Then, you are happy for Jewish people in this country to continue with their own court system, which does not allow women to get a divorce if the man says no, but you are not happy for Muslims to have a court system in this country because of the way they treat women. Is that your position?
It is a tiny minority. The bigger problem, it comes down to population, it comes down to attitude, it comes down to integration, and what we can't have, Piers...
You could argue, Paul, it also comes down to rank hypocrisy of your position.
Is a separate legal system acting alongside our own. That's what's happening.
But the Jewish people already have that. Orthodox Jews in this country have that.
There's only about 200,000. The problem that we have with the problem that we have with the Muslim community is that it is doubling decade upon decade. You know, 6 million will become 12 million, which become 24
million. So it's not about
principle. And the problem is you've then got... Well, actually, no, we're going to end up with a parallel legal system working alongside our own. Now, we either deal with this now or we'll deal with it in 10 years' time. And I tell you what, people will look back and go, do you know what, UKIP were right and they were ahead of the curve on this.
OK.